Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. It is a good day to have a good day. So today I thought I'd go through all of the stuff in my foundation drawer. Everything that I love and use, some things that I'm still testing, and maybe help you find something for your next budget buy, or help you figure out what the best clean foundation is that you need in your routine so you don't have to waste all your time and your money trying to find them. I've done it hopefully for you already, and you can find a winner on the first go. So my foundation drawer consists of a lot of things. Some things I'm testing, some things are new. I filmed this video the first time and I started playing with things a little bit differently. So I'm one of those people that a lot of times I'll find a product and I might not love it, but it's because I'm using it in the way that I know how. So I try to hold on to it for a little bit longer and see if maybe there's a different way that I can use it and love it. And then if that's not the case, then I'll pass it along. A lot of times I'll mix it and find a different way that I can do it. I'm a really big fan of like using what you got and making things work in the best way that functions for you, but I get that not everything works for everybody, and there are a lot of things that I've had in my collection that maybe I didn't love 6 months ago because my skin was in a different place, but that I super love now. Also, if you like today's makeup look, it will be in a video coming in like a week and a half. There's a get ready with me for today's full look, and it's all clean beauty. So foundation drawer. I have 3 primers currently. They are well loved, well used, and I kind of flex between them depending on what I'm looking for. So always is the Coola Classic Dawn Patrol primer. This is SPF in it. If you like something that's a little bit more in the like silicone-y feel, so maybe you really love like the Smashbox Photo Finish primer, this would be a good option, except for it has SPF, so if you're looking for something that doesn't have flashback, I wouldn't pick this for that. But if you're looking for something that's going to give you that extra layer, you should wear SPF, but I don't mind having it in this. That will hold really well all day. I use this on photo shoot days. Any days that I know that I need my makeup to last all day long, this is the bottom of my sandwich, and it's really nice. It lasts for quite a while. I will say when it hits this point, you have to really start scraping it out. That's the bad part about the glass bottle, but it is a lovely, lovely primer, and I have backup of it already. And then the 2 other primers in my collection is the Honest Beauty Everything Glow Primer. I wear this, I'd say this has kind of become my go-to everyday primer because I work from home a lot. I do wear an SPF normally, but if I'm wearing makeup on top of just my everyday skincare that has SPF and a little bit of like Drunk Elephant bronzy drops in it, I'll go for this because it's just a nice glowy primer. It wears really well under everything. I've been doing a bit more of the concealer foundation look recently and going a bit more glowy. I found my skin has been a bit drier, so this has just really helped kind of offset that. I don't necessarily want anything too matte, and it just works really well under everything. And I was really afraid when I first got it that the color would be too much, because my skin is more fair. I was afraid that maybe it would end up being something that just looked really funny, but it doesn't. It blends out really well. It doesn't leave a funny cast on it, and it's really affordable. Well, moderately affordable, but affordable for clean skincare. The next primer in the drawer is the Tatcha the Silk Canvas Primer. Well loved, well used. I like to dig this out with like the back of my pinky nail, because I found that when you just rub it in, all you're doing is kind of transferring the oiliness from your skin back into the pot. It doesn't feel like clean. It feels like it won't last very long. I noticed that a lot more because I use the bronzy drops with my SPF. I can kind of see how things are transferring. So if you use this, I would recommend going in with the back of the finger. It's really nice to wear, just kind of keep your makeup very simple, very chic. I'm wearing it today. I tend to wear that a bit more under anything that's going to be more oily. If I want to kind of put myself in that middle ground where I'm not too oily, but I want a more dewier look, and I'm going to wear a dewier foundation, I will use this. If I'm maybe going to do something a little more on the matte or thinner side and I want glowy, I'll use that, or I'll use the Everything primer. But the Tatcha one is nice, and I will use it as like an all over primer. So put it on my eyelids, just kind of wear it everywhere, and it is a good little travel size too. I bought the smaller one because I wasn't sure how I would feel about it, and it's lasted me really well so far in the couple months that I've had it. And it's kind of in the, I think it's like the checkout section in Sephora is where you find it. I feel like I hopped around the store for this and I couldn't find it, but here we are. Well loved, well used. Okay, so let's do this in a couple of ways just to make everybody's life easier. I'm gonna start with all of my concealers. So I have a couple of concealers, and one of them is new, and some of them I've loved and used for a while, and some of them get used more than others. I tend to be a person that I reach for different products for different reasons, and concealers are one of those things that I kind of bounce between, but there are some that I just use and love all the time. So the Well People BioCorrect, I use this one not as often as I should. I kind of need to get back into it. I really want to play with the Well People products that I have in my drawer. Some of them I love a bit more, but this one and the foundation I'll talk about in a second are actually a bit more heavy coverage, and it can be a little bit watery, so when you shake it out you have to make sure that you're kind of being mindful, because otherwise all you're going to get when you initially kind of pump it out into your hand is that goopy wateriness. But the shade range is awful. That's a consistent thing that I find with a lot of clean beauty, but this wears really nicely. It's not too thick, but it does have a nice amount of coverage for what you're getting with the product. And I find that a lot of the Well People products have been a little bit hit or miss for me, and sometimes I love them a bit more now than I did a few months ago. But this is a nice affordable option. If you have fair skin, I would test it if you can, because this is one that you might not want to use around your eyes, but I enjoy it, and I have kind of that like dry combo skin. It's not a go-to. It needs a little bit more love, but it's in my collection. I don't hate it. I just need to use it more. The Clove and Hallow Concealer in 02, they sent me a package of a couple of things, so I just tried this out for the first time today. I don't know that I super love it or hate it. I don't feel like it's done anything magical for me. It's a bit runnier than what I tend to use, but I'm going to keep testing it. I don't have all of the products in my collection right now that I would normally use. I'm waiting on a replacement for one of my powders. So I kind of tested it with what I had on hand, and I don't hate it so far, but I don't feel like it really did a good job at concealing any spots on my face. It might be a better around the eye concealer, because the spot is still kind of peeking its little face out, and I use this guy on it. So it's a little bit thinner. I don't know about the shade range. That's a 2. I might be better with a 1, but so far I will keep you posted. It's new in my collection. I don't have as much to say. The Han Concealer, Han Skincare Cosmetics All Natural Concealer, Cruelty and Vegan. I really enjoy this concealer. I tend to use this more around the eyes because it's a lighter color, and I feel like it just is a little too much around my face. But it has a really nice consistency. It wears really well. It does really well as kind of like a base for under my eyes if I need something for kind of my like primer for any eyeshadow. This paired with my powder is really lovely. It came in a Petit Vour box a couple of months ago, and I super love it, and it's more affordable. My RMS Uncover Up, my tried and true concealer. So I've actually kind of gotten to the bottom of the pan because I've been using this guy as a foundation recently. I watched the Katie Jane Hughes and the Anna Edit video, and Katie really likes to use a lot of like the Glossier concealers as like a foundation, and this one is considered a concealer and foundation. I just never really played with it that way. So I have been using it as more of like a foundation with a stipple brush, and I really like how just glowy and nice it looks on my skin. I already loved this concealer. It's just a nice lighter concealer. I feel like my skin looks really nice. I don't feel like it's too heavy. I tend to wear it around the eyes a bit more, so when I do use this as a foundation, I go in with another concealer as well, but it is lovely. I really enjoy it. I will continue to buy it, and I might get it in another color as well. I need to look into it. And then the last two in the concealer collection are my Fitglow Beauty Concealers. I have C1 and C2. I love these guys. I actually feel like I'm getting to the point with C2 where I'm almost out of it. I feel like these are kind of the concealer foundation combo. It's almost like a really nice mini foundation. So if I just want to cover some spots, like I need them to go away, I want them to like be gone, and I don't want to wear a lot of stuff on my face, I reach for this guy. So when I do the RMS, pretty much when I do anything that has a spot that needs to go away, we bust out C2. C1 I will put on for like around my eyes if I've got a bigger, heavier makeup day, if I really just need that extra coverage, or if I need an eye look to pop and I just want to make sure that everything is like really nice and like buffed out underneath it. Both of these guys are a bit more expensive. I have a whole post on the blog about where to save on clean beauty, so I'll link that down below, because you can get these discounted, which is very nice. I love them both, but I will say if you aren't mindful of how you put them on your face, like you don't blend them out really well. I tend to blend them out with a brush. They don't do as well with a beauty blender, and I tend to make sure that you just do a little at a time and build it up, because it can get very cakey and thick. It is almost like a foundation concealer. It is a very heavy coverage concealer. It works really nicely, but if you use a lot, you will notice the fact that you have used a lot, like it will build up. Powder wise, and then we will get to the goods. I have a couple of different powders, and I'm still, some of them I love, some of them I'm replacing, some of them I'm trying to use up. The Well People translucent powder I have not played with enough. I feel like the one time I tried to play with it, it was around my eyes, and I don't feel like I would love it around the eyes, but it might be a good option to kind of set my face. I just haven't played with it enough to do that, mostly because I've been using my Clove and Hallow one because I have it. Like I said, I have several all people object items in here. I need to play with them more. And then my Clove and Hallow foundation that looks really, really rough. I love this guy. The powder's really nice. It does a really good job at kind of setting anything. I feel like this would be nice if I had it in more of a translucent powder, because I tend to use this more around my face to set things. But I do have a Kjaer Weis one that's coming, and this is just a nice, good, like colored powder. So on the days that I want to do just very minimal, like maybe no foundation makeup, but I kind of want to dry any heavily oiled spots out, this works really well. If you like a foundation powder, that's like your preference for foundation, this one's fab, and the pan's replaceable, which is nice, so less waste. I do love some of the Clove and Hallow products that I've tried. You will see in the video that's coming up that I just tried a handful. They did send me some more, but that one I purchased myself and I've had for a couple months and I really like it. I just think the shade is wrong for me to use it a bit more around my eyes, which is predominantly where I thought I would use it, but when I color matched, I color matched with like my bronzy neck, and I like to shove bronzer all the way down, so that didn't quite match right, but that was partially my fault. And then I have two more. One is gone, so I'm waiting on a replacement for this guy. It is the Transluscent Kjaer Weis powder. I love this powder. It is the most finely milled powder I've ever used, and it's an investment up front. I will say that because you're paying for the compact and the product. The compact is really, really nice. It's very sturdy. It protects everything really well. And it's definitely $20 cheaper when you replace the powder. So I super love that. One of the things that I didn't love about the Lila B one, which is the other one that I have, the original, was that I felt like I didn't know what to do with this when it was done. Now I do know that Lila B does have a recycling program, so if you are looking to get rid of any of your clean beauty products that maybe didn't work for you, or you're looking to switch to clean beauty and you have products that you don't know what to do with but you want to get rid of them, Lila B has a program. I will link that down below. But I loved this powder. I definitely was considering replacing it. I wanted something a little more budget friendly, and I wanted to deal with the packaging options, so that's why I got the Clove and Hallow one. I would repurchase this, but the Kjaer Weis one is my absolute favorite. It is my tried and true. I'm very, very sad that I don't have it right now. It fell on the floor, and the last little bits that were kind of at the bottom were already kind of having issues, and then it fell and everything just kind of went all over the carpet. So that will be in this week, along with one or two more items I'm very excited to play with. But Kjaer Weis is definitely pricier end on the spectrum, but I do love that they are very into the more sustainable packaging options. So if you're looking to find a way to kind of make that impact maybe in your beauty and you can afford a little bit more upfront, I would definitely check them out. And I know I'm saying the brand name wrong. I really need to learn how to say it. So foundation wise, I have quite a few in my collection, and I feel like there's some that I love a bit more than others. There are some I'm trying to find my groove with and see if I can figure them out. I want to utilize everything I have and see if I can find more budget friendly options, but I don't super adore everything, and I can tell just by how I reach for stuff, but I do go through phases, so keep that in mind. What works for me, it might not work for you. I do want to talk you through kind of what I use more so in the beginning of like my heavier acne, more towards now where I have the occasional spot, and hopefully that can kind of help you with that. On the heaviest side, like the heaviest coverage that I utilize on the regular is my Crunchy Beautifully Flawless foundation. You guys can see I have like the tiniest amount left. I love this guy. It's so beautiful. My skin always looks super fab. I need to buy another bottle of it, and I haven't done that yet. I've really only found that you can get it from the Organic Bunny. If you're looking to get your hands on this, I will say that you might want to get a hold of the sample pack just to make sure that you find the right color for you, and you can find it on Crunchy's website. I feel like this is more of an MLM system, so finding a consultant is how the best way to get a hold of Crunchy is, but I really love this foundation. It smells like a cupcake, and I have it in the shade Light 02. It's my most heavy coverage foundation. That is the one that I wear when I just need everything to look smooth and beautiful. It's the one I reach for photo shoots. It lasts really well all day with everything else. It is like, if you can only pick one foundation right now, your skin is freaking out, you really just want everything to be covered, I would pick Crunchy. That is like my hardcore recommendation for that. When you maybe get to a place where you're more comfortable with your skin and you feel like you're ready to show things that are underneath, there are more options. But if you're just like, I just need to cover everything up, I just need everything to look pretty and perfect, and I just want to get out of the house, Crunchy. Pick the Crunchy one. Now, the other one that's full coverage in my collection, but I don't super love, and maybe it's just because it's too oily in the heavy coverage, I'm like I said, I'm playing with this, is the Well People Biotint Multi-Action Moisturizer. So this guy is very much similar to its counterpart in the concealer. With the crunchy foundation, I learned that it's best to apply that with a brush, and this might go a little bit better as well with a brush, but right now I've been utilizing it with the sponge. I feel like it looks really thick and heavy on my skin, and maybe that's my issue, is I just don't love a thicker and heavier look on my skin. So I have the fair, and I feel like if you have lighter skin than me, or maybe you're in my range, now my skin is definitely lighter than this. I have, like I said, bronzer down the neck, but I just feel like the color is kind of it looks really heavy. I don't super love it. I really want to love it. I'm still trying to play with it. It hasn't worked great for me, but it might work great for you. And who knows, I might fall in love with it or find another way to utilize it. Stick foundation wise, I have two in my collection. I have the Vapor Luminous foundation stick and the Narcissus foundation stick. These are honestly very similar. I don't notice a big difference between the two of them. I do use a darker vapor stick for my contour, so I guess if you wanted to do kind of that same thing in a more affordable option, it might work really well with the Well People one. I do notice that these are very sheer as far as coverage goes, so I tend to utilize them if I'm doing more of the glowy look, and I have a tutorial for that where I'm adding oil and then putting this on so that I can kind of blend it out with my hands and then go from there. I just don't find that it blends really well with a brush or a beauty blender, and I think it's almost, if my skin isn't moisturized enough, it's too dry to really blend really well. So I tend to utilize this when I'm making sure that I have an oil underneath it, and then I like it. It is lighter coverage. These aren't heavier coverage, but they're both fairly nice. I enjoy them. I haven't been going for the glowier, dewier look in the last like couple of weeks just because it's so hot here, but I feel like if I want that more glowy look when it gets a little less humid, a little less hot here, those will be perfect, and they're good options, and I feel like they're very, very similar. Once I realized that doing that application method and putting the oil on first and then adding these guys was gonna work for me, I love them a bit more, and like I said, I really don't notice that much of a difference. So if you're looking for something very similar in price point, these are pretty good options. And then on the lighter coverage side as well for foundation, and it's kind of my go-to recently, I'm just not loving a super heavy face, and I also feel like I'm very much due for a facial. I can kind of see where I need just some overall cleansing and help, but for a lighter, more like, I want slight color, I want a little bit of coverage, I don't want to look like I'm wearing a cake on my face, the Ilia True Skin Serum Foundation is great. I did not love this when my acne was heavier. I really just didn't, and I feel like maybe it's because my skin was not in the best place for it. Now that my skin has calmed down a bit better and I have a better idea of what's my skin versus the makeup that I'm putting on it, I love this a lot. The shade range can be a bit tricky to match, so I would definitely recommend if you can get your hands on a sample doing that. I have the shade Tabara, and it's a little bit darker for me. I probably could go down a shade. I have tried the lighter shade, and I probably will actually repurchase that shade as well. But if you're shade matching to my neck, it doesn't work. If you're shade matching to my face and my chest, we're fine. So I love this guy. I use it regularly. It's kind of my like go-to foundation if I'm wearing foundation these days. If I'm not wearing a heavier, like I'm not putting on a full face of makeup, I'm very much a basics gal, like minimal things possible, but when I am wearing makeup and I'm not shooting, I do wear this. And then the last thing in my collection, it's kind of a mix that I use together because that's just how I find that they work, and it is the Beauty Counter Tint Skin Hydrating Foundation and then the Vita Liberata Beauty Blur. I have this in Latte. I probably could have gone for a lighter shade and I would like it a little bit more. And then the Beauty Counter Tint Skin, I don't adore it. I'm gonna keep trying it, but I find that I actually just like this combo together. Separately, I don't really love them as much. I just feel like they work a lot better together for me. And that's how I feel about certain products in my collection. That's how I feel about my Farmacy SPF. It leaves more of a white cast than I really want, but I love it when I pair it with my D-Bronzi drops. So this is like a separate combo. Now you could try them in your right shade or on your own if you want more coverage. This is not what you're looking for. If you want a lighter coverage, you want a bit of glow, this is a good pair, but on their own I don't super love these products. Maybe I need to try them again, maybe I need to try a different shade, but I do love them together and they do make for a nice lighter coverage day that's not quite foundation, but it's not too fair that you feel like you have nothing on your face. And that is all I have for you guys today. So that is a peek into my foundation collection, all of my foundations, all of my concealers. And if you're on your acne journey, if you're looking to heal your hormonal acne, maybe you just want to get a solid, clean foundation product from the start, I hope this video helped you guys today. So make sure you like this video, give it a thumbs up because it really supports my channel. If you want more videos going through my collection, if you want me to test more beauty products, let me know in the comments below. And if you aren't already subscribed, make sure you do that. I upload new videos every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Time. So I love you guys. You matter to me. I'm so glad that you're here. It is a good day to have a good day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.